Amy Slaton's white chocolate shrimp Alfredo recipe, a culinary experiment on 1000 lb Sisters. Amy Slaton, one of the stars of 1000 lb Sisters, has always been an open book when it comes to sharing her life, her struggles, and even her food experiments. In the show, Amy has had an ongoing journey with weight loss, health, and family dynamics, but one of the most interesting moments was when she introduced her unusual white chocolate shrimp Alfredo recipe. Known for her love of comfort food, Amy's decision to combine shrimp, Alfredo sauce, and white chocolate baffled many viewers. But how did this culinary experiment turn out? Let's dive into her unique creation, its ingredients, the reactions it received, and whether it could actually work. The recipe. A curious combination. In a 2021 episode of 1000 lb Sisters, Amy Slaton decided to experiment with a recipe she claimed she had never tried before: white chocolate shrimp Alfredo. To most viewers, the idea of incorporating sweet white chocolate into a savory, creamy shrimp Alfredo dish seemed odd, to say the least. The dish was presented as part of a larger conversation about Amy's love of indulgent, comfort foods, a theme that often plays out in the show as she grapples with her health and eating habits. The basic components of this dish are pretty familiar: shrimp, Alfredo sauce, and pasta. However, the twist is that Amy added white chocolate to the sauce. The sweetness of white chocolate, when paired with the rich, creamy texture of Alfredo sauce, seems a bit strange, and many viewers were left questioning whether the flavors would complement each other. It raised several eyebrows and sparked a lot of curiosity. Ingredients and preparation. Amy's recipe, while unconventional, included the following ingredients. Shrimp. A common protein in seafood pasta dishes, shrimp would provide the savory base for the dish. Alfredo sauce. The creamy, cheesy sauce that usually pairs with fettuccine pasta. White chocolate. This was the key to Amy's recipe, as the chocolate would supposedly melt into the sauce and give it a sweet, rich flavor. The preparation was fairly standard for a shrimp Alfredo. First, the shrimp was cooked until tender, and the Alfredo sauce was prepared. Then, white chocolate was melted and stirred into the sauce to integrate the sweet element into the creamy base. For pasta, Amy likely used the classic choice of fettuccine, though other types of pasta could work as well. The final result should have been a creamy, sweet, and savory dish, with shrimp coated in the Alfredo sauce. Reactions from fans and family. When the dish was first revealed on 1000 lb Sisters, reactions were mixed. Amy's family members, including her sister Tammy, expressed confusion and skepticism. Tammy, known for her candid and sometimes harsh opinions, didn't mince words. She found the addition of white chocolate odd and said that it didn't seem like something she'd want to try. As a reality TV star who has been quite open about her love for junk food, Amy's decision to combine chocolate with shrimp raised more questions than it answered. For fans of 1000 lb Sisters, this moment was just another example of Amy's tendency to experiment with food in a way that often leaves viewers puzzled. People took to social media to express their opinions, with some calling it a bizarre concoction, while others wondered if it could actually be tasty. After all, white chocolate has a very creamy, buttery texture, which some might believe could work with the richness of Alfredo sauce. Despite the mixed reactions, it's clear that Amy's cooking experiments have become part of the show's charm. Fans appreciate how Amy doesn't shy away from trying new things, even if they aren't always successful. The flavors. How did it turn out? While the viewers didn't get a full analysis of how the dish tasted, it's likely that the final flavor profile was a combination of sweetness from the white chocolate, creaminess from the Alfredo sauce, and savory flavors from the shrimp and pasta. The creamy texture of the Alfredo sauce would have been enhanced by the added white chocolate, but it could have also created an imbalance by making the sauce a bit too sweet. In theory, this pairing could work in some contexts. For example, white chocolate has a mild flavor compared to dark chocolate, and it's often used in sauces for desserts. However, in savory dishes, sweetness is typically introduced through other ingredients, like caramelized onions or sweet vegetables like roasted carrots. The idea of combining a sweet dessert element with seafood, which is known for its delicate and savory flavor, could be jarring for many people's palates. Given how unusual this recipe was, it's safe to say that Amy's white chocolate shrimp Alfredo likely didn't become a new family favorite. It's possible that the sweetness of the white chocolate clashed with the seafood, making it a more challenging dish to enjoy. On the other hand, some might argue that the richness of the Alfredo sauce and the shrimp could have masked the sweetness, creating a surprisingly pleasant balance. Why try it? Amy's white chocolate shrimp Alfredo might not be the type of dish you'd expect to find at a fine dining restaurant or even in a typical family kitchen, but there's a certain charm in her willingness to try something unconventional. For fans of 1000 lb Sisters, it's just another example of Amy's personality and how she doesn't shy away from breaking culinary norms. Sometimes, cooking is about experimentation and having fun in the kitchen, even if the results aren't always perfect. If you were inspired by Amy's adventurous spirit and want to try this recipe, you might consider making a few adjustments. For example, using a smaller amount of white chocolate to avoid overpowering the sauce with sweetness might result in a more balanced dish. Alternatively, one could experiment with using a different type of chocolate or a more savory sweetener to give the dish a less dramatic sweetness. Conclusion. A bold but bizarre experiment. Amy Slaton's white chocolate shrimp Alfredo was certainly an unusual and bold experiment, blending two very different culinary worlds: savory seafood and sweet dessert. While the dish may not have become an iconic hit, it showcased Amy's willingness to take risks in the kitchen and her love for indulgent foods. Whether you love or loathe the idea, it's a reminder that cooking is as much about exploration and fun as it is about tradition and taste. In the end, Amy's culinary creation on 1000 lb Sisters serves as a great conversation starter, even if it wasn't the best recipe to add to anyone's regular rotation. The dish may not have been a success in terms of flavor harmony, but it definitely left an impression, much like the Slaton sisters themselves.